Yeah, and Willie, speaking of companies having to step up, it does seem that some large tech companies have stepped up against InfoWars, and a host that not only has made the life of parents whose children were slaughtered at Sandy Hook back in 2012, December of 2012, made their lives a living hell, with many of them having to move from one place to another and getting threats against their own lives because of lies that he's spreading about them. But also last week, shockingly enough, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, accusing Robert Mueller of running a child prostitution ring and then holding up his finger like it's a gun and simulating the shooting of Robert Mueller. And many people looking at that would suggest that he actually encouraged it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pressure on these media companies. We talked about this a lot last week, Joe, on this show. Now 4 media giants are banding together to take down controversial InfoWars content from their sites. Apple, Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube all have removed InfoWars and its creators' content from platforms in various degrees. It's all in an effort to stop the spread of misinformation. Alex Jones has been behind several right-wing conspiracy theories, like claiming the Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax. He's got a large following, with most pages garnering millions of subscribers. Apple moved Sunday to remove Jones's podcast from its platform, with Spotify following suit. Facebook yesterday announced it had unpublished 4 pages belonging to Jones for repeatedly violating the company's standards. YouTube followed suit, terminating Jones's main account. Jones confirmed on Twitter that he'd been banned by Facebook, Apple, and Spotify. Twitter has not taken any action against InfoWars or Jones himself. Gene Robinson, this is a guy, it goes without saying, people are familiar with him now, but he's driven, as Joe said, Sandy Hook families into hiding by fanning these conspiracy theories and having his followers go after these families. This is a question that's not covered by the First Amendment. Facebook doesn't have to abide by First Amendment. It's a private company, and under some pressure, they finally made a decision to push him away.
Yeah, and look, these private companies had a decision to make, and I wonder why it took them so long, because to continue to put up this kind of content just invites people perhaps like me to say, well, hold on, these are publishers, and they're publishing material that is false and defamatory, and they ought to be able to be sued, just like the Washington Post could be sued, and others can be sued for libel and for huge, in their case, billions of dollars worth of damages. And so I think it was not just a morally correct move by these companies, but also a smart business move to sort of fend off what would be the next step, I think, which would be to, look, guys, we're going to sue you.
Well, and, Elise Jordan, that somebody like Ted Cruz would come out defending Alex Jones, saying, and really repulsive, quoting the first line of a poem talking about the Holocaust, and first they came for Alex Jones. I don't know if Ted Cruz is familiar with the content in InfoWars. I would think most of the people that he sits in church with would be deeply offended. The content is extraordinarily vulgar. His language is beyond repulsive. And again, the conspiracy theories and the suggestion that former FBI directors be assassinated. I mean, every day it's a new shocking attack against some foundation of our culture, of our civilization. And Ted Cruz is going out there comparing that to people that were sent away in the Holocaust.
You got to give it to Ted Cruz just because he does take pandering to new lows, whether it's, his own wife, his own father. He was so quick to, cower back, grovel back to Donald Trump. And that's the same thing that he's doing with Alex Jones. And it's so craven, it's so transparent. And he cares more about the millions of followers that Alex Jones has. And it shows his desperation with his upcoming Senate race, and also his complete lack of any moral compass whatsoever.
And Joe, you touch upon a really important point there. We all understand that there's only so much space in a newspaper. We all understand that there's only so much time on a TV program. But the media, in a sense, has dropped the ball in terms of doing our job, in terms of making more Americans aware of exactly what Alex Jones and his followers believe, exactly what QAnon push and believe. The conspiracy theories are beyond the realm, are not only beyond being offensive, they're dangerous. And we don't do enough in telling people out there right now this morning, people who read newspapers, exactly who these people are and what they believe.
Well, I know, and you know, it's not new. I mean, this guy actually had the repugnant view and promoted the repugnant view that he was a truther, that George W. Bush was an inside job. You know, I was reading a New York Times article yesterday from back, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, where Alex Jones and Rosie O'Donnell and all these other people believed that Building 7 had imploded. Jeez. And that it was that the United States government had killed Americans on 9/11. That it was an inside job. I mean, that's such diseased thinking. It's such offensive thinking that you wonder how those people are given a platform at all, why anybody would listen to them at all. And Alex Jones, my God, Mika, and just, again, it seemed that he was calling for the assassination of Robert Mueller. This should go well beyond him not being on Apple or YouTube anymore. Yep. This seems to be something that the Secret Service should be looking into when it seems that he is calling for the assassination of a former FBI director and a man who's leading an investigation into Vladimir Putin undermining American democracy. I just don't get it.
I think we can debate it more, and we certainly have had that debate, especially now. I think giving people like that a platform is dangerous, and we are watching things unravel before our eyes, even the value of the truth. Jim VandeHei, thank you. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter at signup.axios.com. And still ahead, in the Paul Manafort trial, Rick Gates takes the stand and shows us what can happen when a witness flips on a former colleague. We'll go live to the courthouse coming up on Morning Joe.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.